two are upset with each other, which happens.
Yeah, it does, and I just don't know if I left her with this idea, but I want you to know that I really want some good things to come from this for you all. I can't make it happen. I wish I could wave a magic wand. And, you probably have heard my wife and I have been treated horribly in court, not only in court, but in the exact same court where your mother was in Shelby County. And that's what prompted me to start a blog, and that's why your mom accidentally, I guess one night, stumbled across my blog and contacted me, and we've been moving forward. And I can tell you this, I can explain it to you and Emma in detail someday if you want, but your mother's spoken version of what happened to you all in Shelby County Court is actually not nearly as bad as what, I mean, what actually happened is way worse than what she makes it. Let me put it that way.
I've pretty much been through the mill, you know.
Well, and I hate it because you all are only going to get one childhood.
And it's not so much that I know every single detail of what went on in court, but I do know that my life has been very affected by it, and I do respect that you're trying to help or have some sort of affirmative action, but I just know that my mom lately has been so torn up about that story about my dad and my brother, and I just think that this is not really a positive outcome for it to be so in the open. Like I said, my brother would be very, very upset.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame him. I've never spoken with Zach. I've never met him or anything. He has emailed me a few times. And
I think he is upset because, well, possibly because, he knows that you know everything because my mom talks to you a lot.
Yeah.
And he does worry,
Well, he's been a victim. I mean, from what I understand, I wasn't there, but I know enough about it that he's been a victim just like boys.
He has, but he has really overcome, and I think that, he has definitely put that part of his life behind him and made a very nice life for himself, and I just don't want to cause him any emotional distress or any issues with my mom. They're just now starting to get their groove back together, and I just think that it would be admirable of you to not share that particular story if you would.
Well, I appreciate your sentiment, Sarah, and I don't know what's going to be the next step in my reporting. You probably are aware, well, you are a tiny baby, but in addition to the more really, really difficult personal stuff, there is this issue of Ted just beating the holy crap out of Zach when he was 15. I think Sherry's described you were just an infant and even stopped talking, that it was so traumatic, and that's a matter of public record. I mean, I've got the public documents on that, and again, I don't want to cause anybody, I've told Sherry this, I don't know if she believes me or not, but the last thing I want is for anybody to come to any harm in this. But my nature is as a journalist, and journalist, you probably have written, I know you've written papers for school, you try to tell the truth, and you get at the truth, and that's, I've worked on stories before where people were concerned about outcomes, and I don't mean it to sound unfeeling. I guess Sherry got mad at me today, probably because I just told her, I said, Sherry, I can't control, I don't know what's, how somebody, I've written stories before about people that have, been involved in wrongdoing, and they didn't like it, I ever met your mom. I've had death threats, and I mean, you wouldn't believe the stuff. Well, actually, you would, because you've been through horrible stuff. I mean, we've had death threats. We've had people threaten our pets. There are nights I go to bed wondering if somebody's going to throw a bomb through our house. And I'm afraid to leave our house at times. And there's a... and I'm talking about things way beyond Zach and Ted. This is stuff happened before I ever met your mother. It's just how ugly the environment is, and not just Alabama, but I think nationwide, or and young people like you are going to have to be the ones who I hope will someday change this back in a better direction. But the stuff that's happened to Carol and me in court, the stuff that's happened to you and your mother and your sister, it should never happen. I mean, judges take an oath to uphold the law. I'll just tell you, I mean, your dad lied horribly in court, said he made $50,000 a year. And you and I, everybody knows that's a joke. And that's what your child support is based on. And it's preposterous. And that's just one example. I'm not trying to... I've seen other people in totally unrelated cases lie like crazy in court. So anyway, I'm getting long-winded, but it's a big problem. And I've focused a lot on your mom's case, or really your case too. For several. Number one, it's happened here in Shelby County, where I live, and I can identify with it. It involves, I think, a big law firm. Bradley Aran has probably been behind it, has caused this to happen. There's just a lot of things that really connect with my personal experience. And anyway, I mean, it makes me, the whole thing makes me want to cry to think that our country has come to this. And you know, I mean, it's awful. I mean, Carol and I, we could be a few months from homelessness. And from what I understand, people have threatened you to shut off your utilities and, quit paying for stuff that they're supposed to pay for under the law. And, I've never encountered people like that before that do things like that to people or threaten things. And,